So I guess there is a lot of debate, but some of these nuclear power plants will go in operation very soon, maybe in the next 2 or 3 months. The point is that there is absolutely no consensus. There are groups opposing nuclear power plants. There are groups that support nuclear power plants. Lots of local. I can't go into the detail of these things about the siting of these nuclear power plants. How long does it take? What kind of negotiations go on between central government, utility company, local governments, and people in that area? This in itself is a very, very interesting aspect of siting of nuclear power plants in Japan. But Japan has not given up, and I don't think Japan will give up on this, because I have been talking to some of the commissioners of Nuclear Atomic Energy Commission in Tokyo, and they say that they do not see how Japan is going to get its electricity without nuclear power plants. So there is a very strong feeling in the business, in the government, and in some of these institutions that nuclear power plants, we just cannot get rid of them so quickly. And as you know, even decommissioning of 3 of the nuclear power plants, again I'm entering into a bit of a difficult area here, but I understand decommissioning would take about 25 to 40 years for decommissioning of these nuclear power plants. So there is a lead time to build them, and there is a long time to decommission them. So these are some of the difficulties. There is, of course, the Japanese government is also trying to transfer nuclear technology to Asia. We know that Indians, Chinese, Vietnamese, and others, they are still going for more nuclear power plants in their countries. And very recently, the Japanese government has done a deal with Vietnam and with a number of other countries that they will supply nuclear technology to these countries. So here is this paradox, that irony. On the one hand, Japan has got this huge problem with nuclear power plants through this meltdown. On the other, they are supplying nuclear technology to other parts of the world, especially in Asia. And it's not just Asia, Central Asia, I think Russia, and all those kinds of, not Russia, I'm sorry, but Central Asia certainly, and maybe some part of the Middle East, they're trying to do these deals in this area. Now the challenge is also, as I said, about deflation in Japan. I don't know of any other country where I go year after year, and every year I go there, you see the prices are down. It's like coals. Prices are down, staying down. It's more than staying down, it keeps going down in Japan. So there is deflation in Japan. There are salary cuts. This government has announced that they will have salary cuts of bureaucrats 8 to 10% in 2 years. And that does not, that's not a very happy situation for bureaucrats, because no one wants their salaries to be cut, and they have been experiencing that for the last 10 years. Every year 3%, 4%, we get 3%, 4% rise here, they get 3%, 4% salary cut in Japan. So people are not very optimistic about the future of Japan, and they don't think that the government, the business community, and others are doing things which will make them feel that there is some kind of opportunity and future for Japan. Now, let me go to the last slide now, which I think is important to know. Just what's the, I mean, you may know that our Prime Minister, I don't know how long she's going to she went to the Tohoku area in April last year, and because there were some Australian search and rescue contingent involved in that area, so she went and visited the area of Minami Sanriku, which is in the Miyagi prefecture. And of course, we know that the Red Cross and many other, organizations became very active in Australia. They collected lots of money, and people showed their generosity here in most places in Australia. So they send that kind of money, and I tell you, the Red Cross money, everyone in the areas I visited, they were talking about Red Cross money coming to them and being distributed to them. So even before the central government money came to them, the Red Cross money get to these people earlier than in their own government money, which is quite, I thought, quite remarkable. And there have been Australian NGOs and other institutions involved. But there are two things I thought are interesting. One is, as you know, that Australia and Japan have been in negotiation for a very long period of time to sign what they call an economic partnership agreement, or in other words, a free trade agreement. And that free trade agreement, or EPA, they have been negotiating since 2004, 8 years. It's a long period of negotiation, and maybe about 15 rounds of negotiation, but it hasn't reached anywhere. And one of the reasons, of course, is that in Japan, the agriculture sector has got punches above its weight. There are only 4% of votes in rural Japan, but those votes are very important to politicians. So they do not want to sign an EPA which will disadvantage their agricultural sector. I mean, votes are one, but there are other issues. The Japanese take great pride that they are self-sufficient in rice, because rice is their staple food and kind of national symbol. They don't want to see Australian rice, everyone in Japan eating Australian rice. So this EPA was on hold, and it will remain on hold as a result of this crisis, because politicians in Japan are not interested in talking with Australia on this EPA issue. And so this is going to be on the back burner for some time to come. The other direct issue is about the uranium export to Japan. Japan is the second largest export destination, uranium export destination after the United States, as I understand. And with these nuclear power plants shut down, there will be, of course, it will affect Australia's supply of uranium to these countries. That it means this particular event or incident, 3/11, has affected and will affect Australia's relations with Japan, especially in the trade area, making Japan less attractive for Australia. So we see a lot of attention being paid to China and India these days. I think that attention will become even more. It will be more concentrated because Japan is having these kinds of problems. I think I will stop there. I have taken more time than I should have. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.